Meeting is called to order. Compliance with certification of open meetings law. Just check the law. Roll call.
Cow.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Bradsett.
Here.
And May is here.
Approval of the minutes of the 9/14/15 meeting, the 9/22 meeting, the 9/22 special meeting. Approval of those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the meetings, the minutes from the meetings you just read.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the September 14th and 22nd meetings. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Treasurer's report.
Okay. Account balances in the general fund is $102,937.69, and this is before these checks are written. Tax account has $8,020.69. LGIP general account has $102,380.02. LGIP fire EMS has $2.62. Airport has $21,117.89, and the LGI airport has 55 cents in it. And the checks that are written are We Energies for $54.85 for street lights. We Energies for the town hall, $75.09. CenturyLink for the telephone, $110.80. Farmer Asphalt Chip Seal Little Prairie Road, $46,669. Valia Excavating for the BSL boat launch is $14,766. Stafford Rosenbaum for legal services, $1,857.36. Village of Palmyra fourth quarter fire and EMS, $20,963.38. Village of Palmyra record fee for detachment, $30. Larry Cost salary, $369.40. William May salary, $577.19. Peggy Miller salary, $577.19. Advanced disposal auto pay is $7621.31. Grota appraisal assessors is $2,375. Vendor Levi and Larson town legal, $1,190.13. M&E tree service to trim trees on Tamarack and Hooper roads, $712.50. The Palmyra Flying Club dues, $20. Here, you want to sign?
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as read.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the treasurer's report as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Emergency management plan? Nothing to report. Fire department?
In the month of September, there was a total of 5 fire calls that the department responded to, 2 of which were in the town, and 15 EMS calls, 4 of which in the town. We got a copy of that report. When I was here last month, there was a discussion about having a letter written because it was asserted that we weren't providing the level of service we're contracted for. We haven't gotten a letter. I'm assuming that means that you're being advised that our contract doesn't say what is being asserted?
No, I don't think we would fire stuff that long.
Okay. What the contract says is the village shall provide the town with fire and emergency medical service at the same level of service as are provided by the village within its own boundaries. I guess I'm just looking for clarification.
I'll look for that.
Well, a couple of things. I think there were still some details that Winona and I were working on a letter, but the real issue had to do with the fire and emergency medical services that were to be provided. That also includes, part of the definition, fire protection, rescue operations, emergency medical and paramedic services, water rescue, hazmat services, fire prevention and education, and fire inspections. It's my understanding that there are no paramedic services that are available right now through the village.
Right, but that's not what this contract says we provide.
It's part of what's contracted for. The definition of fire and emergency medical service includes paramedic services.
There's a definition that can include that, but it's very clear that it says that we provide the same level of service we provide in the village.
So the contract is for the provision of fire and emergency medical services from the village of Palmyra to the town of Palmyra. And the definition of that term, fire and emergency medical services, specifically includes paramedic services. So I don't see how you avoid that interpretation.
Because of the entire eternity of the service being provided here, it's never been a paramedic level provider in history. That's why I think that's a general definition that was put into the contract that is not what this contract says it's providing.
Well, I guess when there's a dispute, you go with the words that are on paper. That's what both parties, the village and the town, agreed to, and that's what the definition is of what the village agreed to provide to the town.
That I can guarantee you that's not what the village agreed to provide.
That's what they signed.
That's not what this contract says.
Well, I'm reading the agreement, and it was signed by all parties, and it includes the word paramedic services, so
Yeah,
you can say maybe that wasn't their intent, but those are the words on paper that everybody signed.
right. Okay. I guess that clarifies my question for where we're at.
Okay.
Thank you.
Airport?
I have no report this month. Everything's going fine.
Blue Spring Lake?
Okay, we've got an issue with the culvert that we're proposing to put in on Blue Spring Lake Drive. There's a lot of rumor and innuendo going on, and Leo asked me to get on the agenda for this month, but it was too late to get it on the agenda at the time he asked me. He sent me these emails. And because I don't have a contract or a permit yet from the county, I couldn't do anything anyway. And if we were gonna put the culvert in, it would have been starting around the 15th. So, because it's not on the agenda, we can't go into it now. I asked Al about it before the meeting. I could hold off till next year on it. I don't wanna do it because the road is getting in worse shape, but unless we have a special meeting to discuss it. And I don't think it's all that much of the town's issue. It's an issue more with the landowner than the town. It's just a water problem around Blue Spring Lake, and there's always going to be those problems. So, we can address it in November or later, because if we do nothing now and he does nothing, it won't change before next year. And I'm working on it with Jim Hockman to go through the management district to see if we can do something that way too. And that's what I have for Blue Spring Lake. Oh, and the boat launch was installed.
It's all finished.
We'll have to go back and put some more cold patch in next year, because some of that's settled, or this fall, but other than that, it's all done.
Bill, do you have anything from the building inspector?
No.
This Ken will be here from highway.
And we're just gonna keep it, I guess.
Okay, correspondence.
We got $16 from Wisconsin Inspection Agency for 2 inspections they did. This is from Jefferson County Treasurer. We're gonna receive $15.08 for the managed forest land that apparently we have some. Jefferson County Highway Department sent us a bill for mowing July, which we have a credit, so we have no bill. Department of Transportation sent us our estimated, revenues for next year for the, $83,786.10 that we receive for Highway 8. And the Village of Palmyra, well, this was the bill for the contract that we paid. And then they also.
The quarterly contract.
Yeah. And they also sent us a list of all the fire and firefighters and EMTs that are on staff right now. And this is for Dustin and Kelly Schneider, their request to have the dual residence in a R2 zone that was approved by the county. Humane Society sent us a letter saying we're gonna be getting a new contract. And this is for the Wright Family Trust on Little Prairie Road. It's a new fire number assignment. I don't know if we need to order a new fire number for that.
I suppose, well, I'll check on it.
Okay. You need this?
I'll just make a note of it, you can keep it.
Okay. I'm not sure this is for us or not. They sent us a cut notice for our property, but it says it's in the town of Sullivan. They live on County Road CI, and I'm not sure if that's in the town of Palmyra or it's in the Sullivan.
The residence is the town of Palmyra, but the land they're taking the stuff off is town of Sullivan.
Oh, is it? Okay, so we just.
See, I couldn't wiggles back and forth
Yeah.
over there, it's not a straight line.
Okay. And Jeremy and Lisa Went are putting up a new garage for cars and storage. And this was all the contracts for the boat launch that we had. That's all the permits and the contract that we had for it. But that's all been done. And, excuse me, and the final thing is Joe Nussbaum sent an email. He's concerned about the roads that need to be repaired, and he's also curious to know what those costs are going to be. And that's all I have for now.
New business. WTA response to Mr. Joe Nussbaum's statement during public comment at the 9/14/15 regular Town Board meeting regarding the town board's obligation to spend an additional $45,959 above the budgeted amount for 2015.
This has been an issue that I think Mr. Nussbaum feels strongly about. There's some other town members that feel the same. I wanted this to be on the agenda, and I'm glad it is, because I kind of like to get this ironed out. There's a question about whether at the meeting of the town electors, if the town electors pass a motion that says the town board has to spend a certain amount on road repairs, is that binding on the town board? And the answer to that is no. There's a state statute that addresses this specifically. It's 60.10, has to do with the powers of town meeting. 60.10 paragraph 2 specifies certain things that can be authorized by a town meeting of the electors, but there's nothing in there that allows the town electors to require a town board to spend a certain amount of money on road repairs. So that falls to the discretion of the board members, as you would probably expect. That's one of the reasons board members get elected, is to take care of things like that. They make decisions about what roads get fixed and when, and when the money is going to be budgeted for those repairs. There's nothing in the statute that says that a town meeting of the electors can compel the board to spend that money in a certain amount, at a certain time, in a certain way. So I know Mr. Nussbaum also wanted us to go and get an opinion from the Wisconsin Towns Association, because he didn't like what I had to say. So we did that. So we got an opinion from the Wisconsin Towns Association. They also agree that the state statute does not require the town board to have to spend money on road repairs in a certain way. So, I am confident that we are on rock-solid legal ground when I say that the town board can spend what they want, when they want, and how they want when it comes to road repairs. That's within their discretion, that's why they're elected, that's part of their job. And if there's anybody that doesn't particularly like those decisions, of course, that's what elections are for. That's how and why people run for that position. But in any event, I wish Mr. Nussbaum was here. I'd like to kind of put this to rest, but I think that was the purpose of me speaking tonight on this issue, was hopefully to put that to rest. If there's anybody that wants to discuss it, brought a copy of the statute along, I'll be available after the meeting if anybody wants to discuss it with me. Thanks.
Consider the 9/11 joint powers agreement with Jefferson County. 911.
I'll make a motion that that Larry signs this. It's an annual thing, it comes up every year.
Correct.
It deals with the county, who responds if there's not a 911 call, and explains that no matter who it is, they have to respond, basically, so.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the
3
911 joint power agreement with the county. All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and possible action to appoint Bob Olson to the Airport Commission during the interim until such time as a permanent placement can be made. As town board chairman, I have the discretion to appoint a commissioner to fill that vacancy temporarily. And Bob Olson approached me after a recent town board meeting, volunteering to fill that position. And I think one of the conditions, or one of several conditions, is that he be a friend of the town, friend of the airport. He has proven to be a friend of the town and a friend of the airport. His donation of land to the airport was 5 acres he donated to the airport was appraised. The airport got a $20,000 credit toward the new airport hangar. And so at this time I would like to appoint Bob Olson as airport commissioner. Member of the airport commission. I'd like a board motion to approve support of my.
I'll make that motion. I make a motion to support Larry's decision to appoint Bob Wilson to the airport commission.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve my appointment of Bob Olson to the airport commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment. Donna Tronka.
I'd like to talk to the issue of town road repair. It's a fact that town residents use town roads every day, regardless of the semantics of the words to authorize versus direct, as previously discussed. I don't think there's any question that many town roads are in disrepair and some are extreme. Ed, I heard you state that you didn't know how much you could spend on roads this year because there was some money being held back for legal fees for the litigation between the town and the village over the airport. The majority of town residents do not use the airport on a regular basis. To the best of my knowledge, no town resident owns a hangar at the airport. While the airport is a very important asset worth preserving, I don't think it represents the same priority as having safe roads. Contrast the estimate town population of 1,200 to the estimated 65 aircraft based at the airport. Taking legal fees out of the town's general fund at the expense of repairing roads doesn't seem equitable. I think the board would be better serve their constituency by applying the full 2015 budgeted amount for road repair and put a strong emphasis on doing as much as possible this year, weather permitting. Legal fees for the airport litigation should come out of the airport budget. If there isn't enough money available to pay legal fees, the town board should get a loan and take the loan payment out of the airport account.
Lou LaCroix.
Leo LaCroix.
Leo. Speak. You want to speak?
Yeah, I just have some concerns regarding the Blue Spring culvert project that I brought up earlier today in the meeting. And would like to see a special meeting or get together. We can talk about pieces of that, what I would call moving pieces, to find a win-win solution for all. So, that's my feedback. I don't know, I just think there's some pieces to the puzzle that I don't feel comfortable with. One being the tiles that are connected to the village that I believe will be running downstream in that project without having any type of study done to assure that the lake will be taken care of and the neighbors that live in that vicinity will not have any damage to their property. So, yeah. I'd like to find a win-win solution. I'm not here to argue. I've been a member of this community for 15 years. I consider myself a good friend and a good neighbor. And,
Sue LaCroix?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Leo. We just kind of want to learn more, understand more what this, if there's any potential impact to the lake, to the neighbors, and our property as well. So, looking for the possibility of a special meeting to have further discussion. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to set up a time for a budget workshop
Okay.
toward the end of the month.
Okay, any particular time you have in mind?
The date?
The dates?
Mornings work better for me. Days are not terribly important.
There's no special time for me. At the end of the month, we should have our budget here, or our budget meeting for the electors in November at the beginning. And I'd like to have it wrapped up before I go in for surgery,
Okay,
November 13th.
Okay, so why don't we look at those? We're gonna need more than one meeting,
Shouldn't,
workshop.
one
Okay.
workshop and then a budget meeting.
I think the 24th is like a Saturday, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, but on Saturday.
27th. No, I'm just trying to figure out what day of the week.
did you have a day in mind?
No. You got a calendar there, the
Wanna
last,
do that?
put the last week of the month, sometime in that week.
About Tuesday,
Tuesday?
that last week,
The last Tuesday?
yeah, the last Tuesday.
27?
Yeah.
And I won't be back yet.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, I think you fill in for it.
she's gonna have to do a lot of it anyway,
Yeah.
That's fine.
so the 27th, and I don't care what time.
You wanna do it in the morning?
Yeah, let's do it 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock on the 27th. There'll be a budget meeting,
Workshop.
budget workshop.
Okay, move to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
If there is,